Welcome to This Week in Baltimore Eating with Richard Gorelick. Join us here every Thursday at 12:30 to talk about everything food-related in Baltimore. This Week in Baltimore Eating is brought to you by Eddie's Roland Park, where they're as obsessed with the flavors of Baltimore as we are. Now, featuring all-natural pasture-grazed beef from Liberty Delight Farms in Reisterstown. So, last week, we asked viewers to tell us an iconic restaurant that they're ashamed to admit they've never been to. That was a lot of fun. We got tons of good responses, including Black Olive, Charleston, Hellman. So, our good friend Scott Dance, hi Scott, if you're watching.
Hi Scott.
He chimed in that he had never been to the Hellman.
Yeah.
Which,
amazing.
Right, it's incredible. He did admit that it was because he wasn't always like the riskiest eater or not so much a fan of maybe different ethnicities.
Cuisine.
Food. Sorry, Scott loves everybody. Scott's great. He's a different ethnicity, but anyway. So so I told him we could rectify that. So I took him.
Scott Dance, former colleague from the Baltimore Sun.
Yes, him. So we went. I was supposed to make you guess, but I forgot that part.
Sorry.
I
don't like guessing.
Guess where we went?
Don't make me guess. I don't like guessing.
Anyway, so he loved it. So
He loved it.
He loved it.
Did you help Scott order?
Yeah, he needed help, and he also, I mean, he didn't need the help, but he requested it, and he asked the waiter. So he did get some lamb because he figured if he was there, he should.
When in Rome.
Right. Or when in Afghan. Yeah.
When in
when in Helmand. So he got it was chunks, and it was like the cinnamon with the raisins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he was happy. And of course, I made him we had to have the baby pumpkin appetizer because to me, that's my favorite dish in Baltimore.
Sure, it's a ritual. And
yeah. He didn't call it his favorite dish in Baltimore, but he happily ate it. I think he was good with it.
Yeah.
And then I had the mushrooms. Yummy mushrooms. I don't know.
Love those mushrooms.
I do love some mushrooms. Oh, yes.
So I hope some other people can get out and go to those iconic restaurants that they've somehow mysteriously never been to. Some people, when they wrote in, said that they couldn't believe they hadn't been to this place. It was just a fluke. Some people wrote in and said, yeah, I have no interest in going to that place. A lot of people wanted to talk about Woodbury Kitchen for some reason.
Oh, maybe they just can't get a reservation. Maybe
I
it's
think
not their fault at all.
I don't know why they wouldn't go at least one time to see it. And they're, people that insist they've never been to Woodbury Kitchen sometimes can come across as babyish. Like they're just babyish about it. Like, I'm not going.
I'm not going to go there. Everyone loves it. So I can't possibly like it.
More room for us at Woodbury. It's, I haven't been there for a while. It's time to go back.
Yeah, it's been a little while, but I've definitely I've had breakfast there. I've been at a party there. I've had dinner there. So I've done the gamut of Woodbury.
The Woodbury gamut.
But if anyone watching, if you didn't get a chance to tell us where you've always wanted to be or go, that's iconic, and you think about it now, still tell us. Tell us right now.
Hey, Amanda, this week I made a bet with somebody.
Okay, what about? Why?
Well, they gave themselves a challenge, and I jokingly said that they couldn't rise to that challenge. And to be sort of funny about it, we made a bet. And I don't like to bet money, so we bet French fries. Like, they wouldn't owe me any French fries if they failed, but I would.
But you owe them some if they succeed.
And then it got us thinking about French fries.
Yes. I don't think about French fries that often.
You don't?
No.
I'll go through phases, Amanda. I'll go through like a year without thinking about them. But then I have to have them. Gotta have French fries. And, here's this thing I do now in my French fry phase. I always order them well done.
What? You like a crispy one?
Yeah.
No.
Crispy on the
No, I like them mushy. I'll actually go through and touch.
That's you.
I'll touch all of them until I find the mushy ones, and then I just want to eat those.
She goes through and touches them. That's what she said.
I admit that. Like, if someone has an order of French fries, I want to get the mushiest.
I also don't like, Amanda, when they're not seasoned. I like my French fries pre-salted before they come.
Just salted?
Salted and peppered.
Salted and peppered.
And also, if they want to do that rosemary garlic thing.
Or what about some truffle duck fat?
Oh, for sure.
Like salt. Salt's French fries.
But the default fries that you serve as a side, without telling me that you're adding any rosemary or garlic to it, I want you to salt them in the kitchen, hot out of the fryer. I do want that.
Okay.
That's why I like McDonald's fries. So
people actually do like those. It's
like
a
Brewer's
classic
Art.
thing. Brewer's Art's rosemary French fries are great.
Right. And who else?
Salt.
And speaking of fries, Local Fry.
Yes. What
is
about
opening
them?
up this week.
I think at the Rotunda, right?
At the Rotunda.
Good. That's right up the street. I can go try some. And they make different themed sort of bowls of stuff, right?
Right. The French fries are the base. It's sort of a thing I think they picked up from England. I think it's a thing in London or Edinburgh or somewhere in the United Kingdom.
Well, I know in London they do the jacket pockets where it's just like a baked potato with all the kinds of stuff on it. I love those.
So these are fries as a base, and then anything on top. They specialize. They have some Korean specialties at Local Fry, which the original's in Federal Hill. So let's go check that out.
So do you like it? Have you been?
Yeah, I like them. They're really good food.
Yeah, they are.
They're super good food.
So my question for you is, can poutine count as good fries? Or is that a whole other category as far as you're concerned?
I think it can count as good fries. I do.
So I like the one at Clark Burger.
Yeah.
I like their poutine.
And they have pretty good poutine at...
Does Nickel...
What's it called? At Mount Vernon Marketplace.
Oh, they do.
The burger place there.
Okay.
Good poutine.
And also, I used to like frites. Frites at like Le Garage.
Man. Right.
Those were great.
Anyone doing frites anymore?
I don't know. Is there a Belgian place anywhere?
I don't think so.
But the plus part of frites is what you're dipping them in. You get to have all those different options.
For sure. And those are my favorite type of fries that are crispy. See, those are
Yeah, you like the crispy ones.
I do.
Yeah.
So let us know where your favorite fries are. People still like McDonald's fries, man.
Raphael. Hi, Raphael. He says fries and gravy at G&A in the Holy Land. And then Raphael wants you to know, Alvarez.
Yes.
He wants you to know that you're his hero.
No, I can't believe that.
What am I, chopped liver over here? And that
Lover.
he'll see you at G&A Chili Dogs.
G&A's talking about the place on Eastern Avenue in Highlandtown. Yep.
Yes.
The hot dog place, famous Coney Island hot dogs there.
And for whatever reason, John Hauser called me a monster because I mush all the fries. That's what you're talking about, Hauser.
John, I didn't tell John to say that. I mean, there's no way.
Did you
saw
pay?
it.
Is he the bet? He's the bet you made, right?
He was no way I could have sent him a message saying to call you a monster. But, I mean... Come to think of it, yeah, I don't get that mushy fry thinking, oh, what's that from, do you think?
I don't know, but I really don't like a crispy fry. Anyway, if you're just got here, you're watching This Week in Baltimore Eating with Richard Gorelick, which is brought to you by Eddie's of Roland Park. Take your Father's Day barbecue to the next level with Eddie's hand-cut steaks, baby back ribs, and sirloin burgers. And check out their great selection of craft beers. That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
It is. Be sure to comment, like, share, and follow us at #JMoreEating. And John Hauser said yes because of the fries. I figured. I didn't think you were just randomly calling me a monster. I didn't think. So, speaking of Father's Day, what do you think? What's some manly choices for Pops?
Well, we were talking maybe about restaurants, but then we agreed that for some reason, Mother's Day is for brunch traditionally, and Father's Day is for grilling or barbecuing, deli trays. So, but then I thought also, I remember coming across this piece of information a while ago that the unofficial start to good, plentiful crab season in the old days was Father's Day.
Oh, really?
Crabs
like late
are legal, right? Late June.
Late June is when
they
starts.
start. I mean, real crab heads know that it's
crab
around
heads.
Labor Day. Labor Day is when you can get affordable crabs.
Labor Day.
Yeah.
Like September. You're talking about September.
If you can wait. But now we have crabs all year round. People want crabs all year round. But Father's Day is a good time to start thinking about crabs. So maybe take Dad out for crabs.
Maybe.
Or the family out for crabs. Costas is a good accommodating place for crabs. And they have a nice other seafood and steak menu. I like Costas.
Okay.
Out on North Point Boulevard. And my favorite in-city crab house is still Captain James Landing.
It's a classic. It's an iconic place, maybe.
It is. And because I like being in the city and I like the waterside setting.
It is nice. So my stepfather tends to really like some raw bar options.
Oh, man, yeah.
He loves a good seafood tower, when they do the little... I love it, too, because it's fun, because you never know what you're going to get. You're going to get some of this and some of that and some claws. Yeah. So I think I might try to take him to Thames Street Oyster.
Nice.
Or Thames Street if you're from Baltimore.
Here's the thing about Thames Street is up in Connecticut, which you would think is Yankee territory, and think of as being beholden to their ancestry in England. They have a Thames River, and universally they pronounce it Thames.
So we're supposed to really say Thames?
We shouldn't feel so bad about
for me.
being Baltimoreans and that we're doing it wrong. It's just when we won the War of Independence, we started pronouncing things as they looked.
Is that what happened? We had the independence to pronounce words.
Thames makes perfect sense, and Thames is the aberrational weird pronunciation.
I'm a little bit aberrational and weird, or as John Hauser says, a monster. Hauser also added for Father's Day, his wife and son take him to Crabtown, USA in Glen Burnie.
Oh, man, you know that
place?
For
crabs. You are living large, John Hauser. And he said old school video games. Super excited.
Gosh, if people haven't been to Crabtown, that's a destination.
I haven't been.
It's so cool and weird.
And you can play old video games?
Play old video
Pac-Man?
games. And there's a scattering of pinball machines, which I play because I can't play video games for some reason.
Hand-eye
coordination and spatial rotation. Cat. I have no idea what's going on in a video game.
So Dennis Kirtner says that the best fries are at Corner Stable in Cockeysville, which that's interesting. I don't even know if I've had their fries.
No, I don't know that either. And that's funny because all those Baltimore's every city has lists of things. I don't recall
ever hearing about that, but nice suggestion.
It's a good tip.
We'll try that. All right. So what else are we talking about? So it's Pride. It's also Pride this weekend. It's a busy weekend.
Yeah.
How about some bar suggestions or late night options for that?
Well, I think people will have trouble not finding the
An
Eagle.
activity.
They moved Pride festivities up to Old Culture and Charles North / Station North, and the big bar up there is the Eagle, which in the old iteration was primarily a leather bar. But now it is also that, but it's more inclusive for other.
I didn't know they had food.
They do. I know they did. I believe they still do. Heard good things about their food too.
Huh?
A good solid burger.
I bet they might even have a good fry.
Good fry. It's going to be mobbed, so you might want to eat somewhere else. You'll probably find lots of street food at the festivities on Saturday, and there are a couple good restaurants up in Station North too, and you can just walk down to Charles North Station North for all the good restaurants there, like Parts and
Labor,
Pen and Quill.
Oh, Pen and Quill,
and
then the
Bottega.
And the
Tapas Teatro
party on Sunday is at Druid Hill Park.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
So, but I guess there's food vendors there.
There's going to be food vendors there.
So one day I'll tell you a funny story about the Eagle from my misspent youth. I'll tell you offline.
And another thing about Pride is sunscreen.
Yes.
Everyone really wears sunscreen.
And don't overdrink.
Don't overdrink, and please hydrate. It's an excuse to the reason there is Pride is to be proud and not to drink. That's not the reason that Pride exists. If you're going there to drink, you're doing it wrong. It's not an option. It's not like people do it different ways. If your idea of celebrating Pride is to drink alcohol, you have a drinking problem, and you shouldn't do that. So
wow, look at you laying down the law.
No, it's not. The fun of the event is not to drink
and be disgusting all over the people.
You can be disgusting without. That's fine.
You can. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, but let it all hang out, baby. But,
let it all hang out.
I'm being a public scold about drinking, and it's a scourge in the gay community, alcoholism, and there's no reason why we should be celebrating drinking at all. Go have a
good job.
Don't drink outside.
Okay.
You'll regret it. So
plus, imagine how hard the high heel race would be if you were also drunk. It's hard enough on its own. I can't do it. I'm not entering the high heel race.
I couldn't do it.
All right, but definitely hydrate, right?
Yes.
You don't have to listen to Richard. He's smart. He's saying what should be said, but hydrate if you're gonna. Hydrate. Okay, what's new? Restaurant news.
Wow. So what do we know? Oh, the Crown is the other good bar up in that area. Too,
oh, good.
And Wind Up Space.
Yes, and Club Charles.
There's this the Wine Market Bistro we know closed. It's same ownership, I believe, is reopening it as Ludlow Market Bar and Bottle Shop. It's opening this week.
Excellent. Nice.
And a new French brasserie by a restaurateur Ashish Alfred will be opening June 22nd called Duck Duck Goose. That's located on Broadway in Fells Point.
Maybe they have frites. Duck Duck Goose, if you're watching, we need to know right now if you have some frites. Okay, go ahead.
And Cakes by Jason Hisley opened on Padonia Road in Timonium. They're doing fancy tiered cakes for special events, but also you can go in and get a simple pastry too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of your photos on Instagram, and your stuff, it looks beautiful. So congratulations
so
for
people
that.
Always looking for fancy cakes, and I
always.
Yep, I'm looking for. He'll make a gay cake for you.
He will. There's everyone. You know what I love the best about that Supreme Court ruling is everyone in town immediately came out and said, "We'll make your gay cake." So So that's a business opportunity for everyone. If I was a good baker, I would make you a gay cake.
What's a gay cake?
I don't know. You said it. I think it's rainbow tiered. I don't know.
Yeah, rainbow. So,
all right.
Before we leave you today, and it's been a pleasure spending time with you and you.
Even though I'm a monster
out there, and sorry if I was too harsh about having fun at Pride. But,
no.
I worry about people. I worry about people.
Right.
I do. I worry about them. Anthony Bourdain. And died last week, and I was watching my Facebook feed, and so many of our friends in the industry, so many of the chefs and people in the restaurant industry have been inspired by him, or got into the business directly because of him, or held on to their foundational beliefs because of him. So to say that he is a hero to people.
Oh, yeah.
An inspiration. And people are very, very upset and sad about it. He, of course, had a Baltimore connection, having worked here. He worked here briefly in the 80s and wrote about it in Kitchen Confidential. Not in the most positive light.
Well, we had bad drugs.
He had bad drugs.
He didn't like our drugs, frankly.
And then
which was Robert Downey Jr.'s complaint, too, actually. Back in the day.
Nothing to say about it. No insights. No insights. None. My saving grace for drugs always, the reason that I never got into trouble was I have no street smarts. I have no street smarts at all. If you put me on a what's it called, like Amazing Race, and it said the team's challenge now is to score some drugs, I would lose.
Some bad heroin.
My team would lose. I would not know what to do. I'd go to a store and ask, I don't know what I'd do. I have no street smarts at all. That was always what saved me from trying drugs. And then Anthony Bourdain, when his show finally came to Baltimore, and Baltimore's so excited. He's going to show the world that we have great restaurants and new restaurants, and then he did something that we didn't expect, that we were sort of embarrassed about.
Well, we shouldn't have been, though.
We shouldn't have been.
He found the core to Baltimore.
He found
he had a legitimate tour guide with him, showing him some real spots.
Completely legitimate.
We were mad because he didn't go to Woodbury Kitchen and Gertrude's
or
whatever.
But turns out, with time, with the advantage of time, he did it completely right, and we were babyish for objecting so much to it.
Right.
And he spoke several times in the intervening years about how much affection he had for Baltimore.
Yes, he just to clarify, he went for lake trout with Felicia Pearson, who played Snoop on The Wire, which is pretty awesome.
It was really awesome.
I mean, I've had lake trout and I don't enjoy it at all, but that's me.
It was so cool that he did that. And you read something that David Simon wrote.
David Simon wrote a very moving, very long piece for his friend Tony, because Anthony Bourdain was a writer on Treme, which is David Simon's New Orleans show, and he basically made that entire food arc because of Anthony Bourdain.
What a cool collaboration.
Yes.
Could you imagine being David Simon's editor?
Well, yes, because he writes really long, so probably editing him was maybe not that pleasant back in the day. So I can imagine that, yeah.
Well, on the other hand, he has no ego, so there's that.
You're hilarious today.
I don't know. I love David, but man.
I love him too. But anyway, so yes, we're thinking of Anthony Bourdain, and it's a huge loss. And literally everyone chimed in. It wasn't just chefs. It was all the travel world. It was all the writing world. It was all everybody.
And then there was a whole conversation about mental health. I'm sorry, and
yes,
and how to support your friends and family who are struggling, and how those people can ask for support. And then, of course, there was the next day of people coming out and making fun of that conversation. So,
that's not okay.
That's always bad.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
All right, are we done preaching to
We're
the
done.
preaching
We're
to
done.
the choirs?
I don't know. I'm starting to have a soapbox.
I know. Look at you being all preachy today. So you guys have a happy and safe Pride.
Yes.
You can tune in every Thursday at 12:30 for This Week in Baltimore Eating, which has been brought to you by Eddie's of Roland Park.
Yeah.
Visit Eddie's for fresh Gundalow juices, Zeke's coffee, Pop Station's popcorn, and more local flavors you know and love. Visit eddiesrolandpark.com. Let us know what is on your mind, what new spots you've discovered lately. Chime in the comments field. We will see you next week.
That's right. See you next week, everybody.